Yo, 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 what's good, y'all? It's your boy Tony the Savant back with another one. We live with it today. Y'all pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. We got a special show. I'm doing so me and my boy Marlow, we done videos in the past. We done did this live stream thing for y'all before, but I've been wanting to kind of organize it a little bit more so we can start chronicalizing, events, headlines, stuff that goes down. Because when me and my boy Marlo, we link up, man, it's such a good time that we'll start talking about everything and anything. So, and the feedback I've been getting back from the lives, low. I don't know if I told you, but everybody, the people that be watching the lives that I'm in tune with, they definitely enjoy it. But like as far as for structural purposes, y'all, we gonna give y'all a little bit more just to show our professional side. We can do the barbershop format another time, but nonetheless, it's your boy Tony the Savant. I'm retooling the intro. I don't know if y'all seen the last video or whatnot, but I'm coming up with something catchy and all that good stuff. But I got all the platforms that you can follow me on: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, all that good stuff on the ticker on the bottom. I want to give my boy Lo a minute to plug his channel and everything he got going on. What you got, Lo?
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on, Mr. Savant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Just want to give a shout out to Run It Up Sports, man. That's our collective channel.
Facts.
Definitely have had Tony on there with us. My boy Jeremy the Gent. So that's our little channel we got, man. And of course, this is Marlow knows boxing and Marlow knows basketball, or Marlow knows basketball and Marlow knows boxing, whichever way you want to say it. That's me. That's what I specialize in. So you know what I'm saying? We about to get into this.
Yes, sure. Definitely got some interesting things going on in the basketball and the boxing world. So, um, let's go ahead and start off with some hot form, big bro. I want to get into this James Harden saga. Now, I know I'm trying to think. Have you done a video covering this clown yet?
Nah, I haven't done anything covering the situation, man. I mentioned him in my video before last, just the disrespect that people try to use him to put him over Iverson, where I just feel like he ain't on that, he ain't on no level where he didn't even equaled Iverson to in my opinion. Too many playoff failures, too many playoff disasters, really. Um, to put him in there with Iverson, man, he doesn't have a legendary playoff run like Iverson had. Um, just I don't see it, man. The man just doesn't have, he don't got that heart, man. He don't got that heart, and that's when you need that heart is in the playoffs, and that's where James Harden is his worst at.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And so I want to ask you, Lo, as far as the situation, because I be tapped into your channel. I definitely know you've been following the Damian Lillard situation, which I
Yeah,
didn't kind of, I fell off from that storyline because I'm really enjoying your coverage of it. Y'all definitely an audience. Go check out my boy Marlo knows basketball and basket. His updates on the Damian Lillard situation. Like I said, I couldn't cover it any better myself, but I have been following closely this James Harden situation, man, and so the most recent update is that the 76ers have come out and said that they're going to force James Harden, of all people, to come to training camp. Of course, I don't know if you've seen that video. I'm sure you have, but you've seen the video of him over in China talking about Daryl Morey as a liar and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah. I seen it. Yeah, I
Bro,
seen it. He just
let me
stabbed that man in the back.
so let me ask you this question: who? And I ain't gonna say true sides because I think like everybody has a little bit of everybody's a little bit in the right and the wrong. And after you answer this, I'll explain what I mean by that. But uh, proverbially, whose side are you taking in this situation?
I gotta be on Daryl Morey's side, man, because Daryl Morey he's done too much for James Harden to go public with something like that. If he had a problem with Daryl Morey, he should have called him personally. I know he got his number.
Hmm. I agree wholeheartedly, man. And I say something that people forget that you know just out of recency bias, Daryl Morey has been giving James Harden the house for 10 years now. James Harden went over to Houston in what, 2013, I think it was.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, about 2013.
right after his finals run with OKC. And this is what people be forgetting. Um, the best version of James Harden that we have seen has been the OKC version. Uh, Fun fact: the only version of James Harden that has that has sniffed in NBA Finals is the OKC James Harden, and I think that reality is starting to hit this dude. James Harden has always been uh, Jamal Crawford as the number one option. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
don't get it twisted. Jamal Crawford could give you 30 or 40 on any given day.
Mhm.
Who else? Lou Williams could have gave you 30 or 40 on their best days, but these dudes were not number one options or franchise players. And I think I agree with you on that, bro, that Daryl Morey isn't 100% right. You know what I mean? As far as he's done everything he could for this dude, James Harden. And James Harden, man, I've got a video coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the backdrop, and I like for you to jump on this as well. We are not in the player empowerment phase no more. You know that was 10 years ago. We are in the player entitlement phase. Do you agree?
Exactly. I like that. That I couldn't have said that. I couldn't have put that in a better phrase than you just said. That is what it is. Definitely James Harden, and James Harden is the poster child of it.
Mm-hmm. I agree, bro. Well, you know what? I still got to give the king himself the crown. I think LeBron James.
He started it all.
Yeah, no, LeBron James is the king because uh, LeBron James kicked this all off. LeBron James definitely holds the crown as far as the thing about LeBron James. He's the person in this whole player entitlement era that has the most success. You know what I mean? When he actually, thank you too. When LeBron James tells you to go get him an Anthony Davis or a series of role players that can actually play basketball, it's because he's gonna take your team pretty far. Um,
Yeah.
we have not seen the case. We have not seen that with other, poster childs for this entitlement era, i.e., Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. All these dudes have all world talent, but only person I can give, and I hate to even say that, that sounds crazy. I'm going to give LeBron credit for it, is that when LeBron tells you, "Hey, I need this, I need that, and I also need a max contract," it's because he's going to take your team on a deep playoff run. To his credit, you know what I mean? With all the antics that come with that. But also, like I said, man, these other dudes, I just feel like James Harden has put the 76ers in the lock. Um, what do you see happening next for James Harden, bro? Do you see them moving them? Because the reports have been are out there that the Clippers, for whatever reason, are trying to get this dude. What do you see next, though, for James Harden? Oh, Lowski?
My bad, bro. I had to run through this rain. It's crazy out here on this west coast, man. They having some type of hurricane. Got it pouring rain out here.
I
Got to
heard.
run from
Are
the
y'all
car
close
to the house.
to Hillary stuff?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Hurricane Hillary, I think, but it's supposed to hit LA, and we feel it. We getting all the rain and stuff here in Vegas now. It normally never rains here in the summer, but yeah, man, my bad. I just had to run from the car to the house.
All
But
good.
yeah,
Uh,
can you repeat the question one more time? I just had to
oh, no,
run through a whole story.
no, you good for sure, for sure. And I kind of feel like I was getting long winded. I was trying to this whole James Harden situation, man. It's just hilarious to me. It's comical, but I was just saying, what do you think is next for Mr. Harden? Do you think? Because
Oh,
I'm going to say this too. I'm not sure if you've seen the reports, but allegedly, apparently, the Clippers have shown interest in James Harden for whatever reason.
hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't see why they would want James Harden, but I mean, for you, bro, do you think he can go over there, or what else do you see happening for James Harden?
Man, if he goes to the clip, I mean I have been hearing that's where he wants to go, but I mean, what would make that situation any different than Brooklyn or Philly? I don't see what would be different about it. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to be dealing with a team where Paul George can't stay healthy, and Kawhi Leonard be sitting out for whatever reason. Kawhi Leonard to sit out a game because his hair ain't braided. He sit
Exactly.
out for any little reason. So you're
Yeah.
gonna be dealing with that. And you left Brooklyn because of Kyrie sitting out games. So you going into the same type of situation, you're gonna be unhappy again, asking for a trade again next season.
Yep. Like Kyrie, bro.
Yeah, like y'all never satisfied. Like, and they keep on giving them, letting them have their way. If I was the Sixers, I'll say f this fool, man, and trade him to freaking Orlando or some or Detroit or somewhere. Like you go rebuild,
Well, my
send them back to Houston.
what gives me joy in this whole situation is that nobody is showing interest in James Harden. Man. It's like the gig is up on him. Like everybody has seen his scouting report. James Harden is on the back nine of his prime, um, and everybody knows that if everything doesn't go exactly his way in one season, he's going to be demanding a trade next season. You know what I mean? Him,
Yeah,
Kyrie and KD are in all kind of like the same boat. That's why Kyrie, a lot of people don't understand. Kyrie stayed in Dallas because he had no other offers on the table, and he didn't want to go play with LeBron and the Lakers. So, he stayed put and took what Mark Cuban was going to give him anyway. Um, but these dudes, you know what I mean? They are all world talents. But um, honestly, bro, I'm gonna say I think James Harden days in the NBA are numbered. You know what I mean? He might be able to squeeze out another season or two, but uh, from what I'm seeing, I think his days are numbered. You
I
know,
wouldn't doubt it, man. I wouldn't doubt it, man. The way that he's operating, it's like, what are you gonna like? How many times you gonna ask for a trade? Like you 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 gonna end up playing for all 30 teams.
that
Like
part.
you're not happy here, you're not happy there, you're not happy anywhere. So it's like maybe you need to just like retire. Then like nothing's gonna make this guy happy, and it's his fault. Like he doesn't show up in the playoffs. He had a couple good games against Boston this year, but where were you at in Game 7?
Facts.
I mean, to his credit, Joel Embiid didn't show up either, but I mean, you asked to go there. You wanted to play with this man.
That's
They could have easily stayed in Brooklyn and tried to do something with KD. That
hey,
ain't work.
they Daryl Morey bought him to Philadelphia, saving him from the Brooklyn situation. Ain't that funny what he
Exactly,
did? Funny what how
exactly. And that's another reason why I was saying that people that's trying to put James Harden over Allen Iverson are crazy. Allen Iverson stuck it out with one team for years and years, got them to the finals and everything, got them to the finals as the only offensive option on the team. James Harden has had Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. He's had Dwight Howard. He's had Chris Paul. He's had Russell Westbrook again. He's had KD again with Kyrie, and now he's had Joel Embiid. Like you've had way more than enough help to win a championship,
Oh
and
yeah.
you've only been to the finals once. And
Oh yeah.
and you when you went to the finals that one time, you were the third option.
Yep. That's why I say he had that was the best version of James Harden, not production wise, but basketball wise, him actually being a conducive part to a team. Because now, Buddy, ever since he done seen them strip clubs in Houston, he just feel like I don't know. I think a lot of these dudes be thinking they LeBron, man. I think they really bringing 50 wins and a deep playoff run to a team.
One thing I will say about LeBron don't do a lot of partying though. You see LeBron and LeBron's in the gym. James Harden ain't in no gym. You see every season he come in from the off season out of shape, fat. Like he don't got no work ethic either.
And bro, I got another part of that player entitlement documentary I was telling you about. Uh, it's funny you say that because in the video I say that LeBron and all his antics is still concerned with his legacy. You know what I mean? A lot of these dudes, even KD came out of his mouth and said, he ain't concerned with his legacy. LeBron still cares about his legacy. LeBron just kind of, he acts like he ain't doing something. He acts like he's not built stacking the deck when he clearly knows he's stacking the deck. You know what I mean? That's the only discharge against him. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I could
yeah. That's
go
why I
on.
say LeBron. LeBron started that whole thing. He started the whole thing. But I mean, again, to LeBron's credit, when he does it, when he switches teams like he does, he at least waits till the contract is up. Like James Harden,
Yeah,
he's continuously doing this in the middle of his contracts.
yeah, that's a good point too, bro. That's honoring at least your business obligation, because yeah, I mean that's gonna lead to more opportunities after retirement. I doubt any relevant company looking to do business with James Harden, because like what you gonna do in the middle of this contract, bro?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That
And he
that's
holds teams hostage. Like you won't even be professional about it. Like he don't go out there and purposely play like trash because he
yep,
don't want to play there. Like if you ain't want to play there, why you sign a contract?
yep, that's a fact. But it kind of segues into the next topic. Uh, Joel Embiid, old MVP. And with all of the stuff that's going on in the 76ers organization, reports have recently surfaced that I believe Pat Riley and the Miami Heat have shown interest in Embiid. Um,
Philly,
I got to double.
Philly will be stupid to give him up.
Yeah, but I mean,
What?
what do you do if? Because this is the thing. Daryl Morey. I don't know if you know. I meant to say this earlier when we was on the James Harden topic, but
Mhm.
Daryl Morey brought James Harden. So he took him out of Brooklyn and brought him to Philadelphia under the promise of recreating Houston. I don't know if you know, bro, but Philadelphia has talked about bringing in Mike D'Antoni. You
Oh wow.
you
Oh
peep that
yeah.
you peep that they got PJ Tucker. They got Eddie House over there on the coaching staff. So Phil Moore, Daryl Morey was trying to, for the worse of the better, recreate Houston. And he still can if they get, because Daryl Morey, since he's been in Philadelphia, he has been dead set on getting rid of Embiid. You know what I mean? So, um,
You gonna get they gonna he dead set on getting rid of a top five player. That's
and
crazy.
because in Daryl Morey's head, for whatever reason, James Harden is a top five player. So,
At this point, I don't even know if James Harden is top 15. To be
yeah,
honest.
we got to start talking about it, bro. I think the lamestream media do these guys such a big service when they, give them all this press and talk about them like they still, championship caliber players. It's like you said, bro. James Harden has shown what he is. It is what it is, and we need
Yeah.
to move on accordingly.
And he
Yeah,
only getting older, and you know he don't take care of himself like that. So what is he, 33, 34, something like that?
yeah. I think he 30. Yeah, he definitely in between 31 and 33, which is the last. You got you with your last 40 months of prime, around that time before, around 34, that's when everybody start falling off. At least
And
Kobe and
he, yeah, that's true, that's true. He ain't even really looked that good these last few years though, really. Especially think when they did like a little, they got on the referee's helmet a little bit, saying that they call him fouls too much. And they wanted to like kind of take it back to where it was before they started doing the rule change. I think they kind of let up on that again because they want the offense to be what it is, because it brings offense, I guess, brings more money, so they don't really like defense.
yeah.
But for them first couple of months of the season before last, James Harden was looking like straight trash. Like he was missing a lot of shots that he wasn't even looking to like shoot the ball for real. He was fishing for contact, and he would just throw it up, and the referees wouldn't call it, and that's a field goal attempt. That's a miss. And at the end of the game, he's looking at the stat line, and he's 5 for 20 because he's fishing for calls. Like instead of actually focusing on making the shot, he's trying to get contact to get to the line, and the referees wasn't giving him that. They wasn't shooting him that bill.
And it's funny you say that. That's the exact evaluation that the Mamba had. Kobe said the exact same thing about James Harden a couple years ago. And like he be
Well,
so.
he didn't say that. He said that his style of play can't win. You can't win like that.
I
And I
mean,
mean, he's right.
yeah. Essentially, if you play into the referees, you know what I mean. If you play into the referees and you're not playing, uh, uh, Well, back in the days, they used to say play to the whistle. You know what I mean? If you didn't get a foul, you didn't get a foul. If you did get a foul, you did get a foul. It's not about that. It's just about staying focused and locked in. So if you
Yeah.
playing to the referees, if you like you said, he purposely doing some wild flop,
Right.
the referee's attention. It's like, bro, that's so deflating to your team, who you supposed to be the leader of. So it's like you got the younger guys on the team or just the other guys on the team, and it's just like, all right, so what we supposed to do? Flop too? Because if they ain't calling it for James, they definitely not calling it for us.
Right, right.
But
But that's
I, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
he wasn't focused. He wasn't focused on actually putting the ball in the basket. Like you trying to win an Oscar. Like you supposed to be trying to win a basketball game. You up here trying to win a, what I'm saying, trying to win an Oscar for best acting. It ain't work. And when it don't work, then look how you look. And then I want to see how he responds this season with that flopping rule. Don't you get suspended a game? Or no, you don't get suspended. You give the other team a technical foul, I think, if you get caught if you flop and the referees determine that it was a flop, then the other team gets a technical free throw. So now you're hurting your team by flopping. So I want to see how because not only is he not going to get the same calls when he flops, it's going to actually give the other team points.
We'll have to see how the referees call it really, because the referees already be. I say they don't miss flops, but they act like they be missing flops. You know what I mean? All of
Yeah.
the tomfoolery that these dudes be doing, and it predates LeBron. Like we forget the godfather of flopping was Vlade Divac. That's the godfather.
Yeah, Vlade.
Yeah, that's
Vlade, I used to like him.
the
Paul.
LeBron like the Michael Corleone of flopping. He took it to another level, of course, but he ain't
Yeah.
the. But that's why I wanted to get into. So with the Philadelphia, I mean, as it is right now at this very moment, uh, James Harden is saying he ain't playing, and then Philadelphia say they're not trading him. So Joel Embiid has gone on to unfollow Philadelphia 76ers social media stuff, which I hate when these dudes do that, man. That is such a, and I think that's just kind of like the era that I come from. I don't know how you feel about that, big bro, but when the ESPN and all these networks be reporting that Anthony Davis stopped following Stephen A. Smith or this dude stopped following the team. I'm like, bro, is that news nowadays? Is that really
Like
news?
like they in a relationship or something.
Yeah, bro. Like I mean, I don't. I'm following all these cats, just for news
Yeah.
purpose. But I don't care if I see. If I don't know, they got too many followers and all that crap anyway, so I wouldn't notice if Joel Embiid didn't follow somebody. But
Yeah.
if I did
I'm
see it, it wouldn't be like, oh, let me hurry up and go ahead and go live and tell the people. Like, bro, who cares?
I'm used to hearing that stuff about people that's in relationships, like, what I'm saying, Michael B. Jordan stopped following Lori Harvey or something like that. Like
Hey,
they acting like these dudes is like dating. Ain't
freaking
nobody pet. I don't care who follows who. Like I'm pretty sure that if Kobe and Shaq were had if Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff was around during they time, I'm pretty sure they never would have followed each other.
facts.
But once they got on that court, they delivered.
That's a fact. Which is the good. See, a lot of people kind of discount those old days, bro. I think that's another advantage for the old era. It's just, it wasn't so much exposure and you could actually zone in on the game. You could separate church and state back in those days. Where now these dudes is, I'm a basketball player, I'm a brand, I'm a business. It's like, man, just we don't care about your business, Paul George. I mean, we don't. I don't care what Kyrie Irving does in his
Oh,
private time.
he Paul. Well, just on a side note, not to get off topic, but Paul George looked like he's setting up his second career. He looking like Sean Porter out here with these podcasts. It's like,
Bro,
damn, like
bro,
you getting ready for early retirement.
bro, they all biting our style, bro. You gotta YouTube's been around for so long that these cats had no interest in this stuff. Even 5 years ago, I say the max probably 3 years ago. I mean, the minimum 3 years ago, the max 5 years ago. The thing about it is that when you see cats like regular old dude. Like, we pretty regulars, but we getting up there. But you see common dudes, getting all these views and making all this money on YouTube. Like the dudes, the bigger platforms, sports platforms in the YouTube community, these dudes make just as much money as the athletes. I mean, they getting a luxury,
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say as much as
not
they
as much.
make good money.
What,
They make good money, but I don't think it's like a. I mean, a minimum basketball contract, you're getting like what 3 mil a year, something like that.
that's cap. Yeah, I redact that statement. Definitely more than the WNBA, but
Oh
but
yeah,
but
I
if you
make
see it,
more than the. Hey, people that work at it's people that's managers at Walmart that make more than them.
bro, that's so sad. When I be looking at like they be bragging like, oh, this girl about to get 800,000 a year. It's like that's it. Like, damn, that's skinny. I be kind of pressed if I'm a professional athlete. I know man's over
Yeah.
getting 50 million, and you finna give me 800. Like, oh no.
I think it's gonna change though. I think my girl Angel Reese, she about to when she comes to the league, she's really popular. So I think she's gonna bring a lot of attention to the women's basketball when she goes to the WNBA.
She very much so could, but the only problem with that, bro, is that the WNBA as a product doesn't sell. You know what I mean? And now we really off. You know what I mean? We segue and we get back to.
Yeah, my bad. I ain't mean to, you know what I'm saying, get us off
No,
tangent.
you good. That's how sports go. That's why I love this industry, man. Because I've worked in the business realm and all that kind of corporate realm and all that stuff where it's always a script. You got to say the same stuff to the same people. So I love that sports it provides avenues for you to kind of jump around, but. Nonetheless, the reason why the WNBA, man, I've done research into it because I've been doing videos about those young ladies. Uh, they got the same problem as the UFC. You know what I mean? Except like the UFC supports their stars a little bit more. The WNBA does not support their stars, bro. They do not market their stars. You cannot tell you. I mean, you probably could. We probably could because we actually tapped into that. That niche called the WNBA, but the common person or the casual fan cannot give you a top 10 WNBA players right now, let alone all time. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey, to be honest, I can give it to you top 10 all time, but as far as currently today, I'll struggle with that one. I ain't even gonna lie.
and that's because the WNBA as a company doesn't market their best employees. As I mean, like the NBA man, you John Morant, yeah, we gotta get him a multi-millionaire shoe deal. We gotta get you Powerade, Gatorade. You know what I'm saying? You instantly gonna know John Morant is a household name right now, and he ain't
Yeah,
won nothing. He ain't won nothing, another, but he's marketed as a WNBA young prodigy, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So,
right, right,
thank
right.
but the
But
WNBA, you can't tell me nothing about Skylar Diggins. You can't tell me nothing about Della. I can't say Ella Della Devon, whatever that chick name. You know what I mean? They're bigger names right now. You can't tell me nothing about them because even the Las. I was just looking at the Las Vegas Aces. They kind of making
mhm,
them into a WNBA super team, whatever. But bro, they allegedly got two chicks making triple doubles and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't even you know what I mean, unless I
yeah,
see a meme. But
I think some of it also has to do with how they I don't want to sound sexist or nothing like that, but like how they look. Like I mean, guys don't want to watch a bunch of you know what I'm saying
yeah,
a bunch of butch girls out there, a bunch of studs rather. That's what they call them in the LGBTQ community. And
yeah,
I'm not dissing them or anything like that or saying anything bad about them, but it's just like when men watch women sports. I mean, we just like a little bit of eye candy. It's funny you mentioned the UFC because they did a great job marketing Ronda Rousey a few years
facts,
ago, and she blew up, but
facts.
she was an attractive female. So you know what I'm saying that was she you know what I'm saying a little bit nice to look at, and and everything like that. So and she could really fight, and the UFC capitalized off of that. With that's why I say with Angel Reese when she goes to the WNBA, I think she's gonna bring a lot more eyes on it because she's a nice looking young lady. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's better than looking at, you know what I'm saying, a woman that kind of looks like a guy. At that point, if you're watching a bunch of women that look like guys, it's gonna kind of feel like you watching some dudes that just ain't skilled like that. Like you just be
bro.
watching dudes that can't play.
When Angel Reese goes to the WNBA, she's gonna disappear. The only reason why we know Angel Reese is because the NCAA markets their college players better than
I
the
don't. I gotta cut you up. I gotta cut you. I don't agree with that because you gotta look at her online persona. Like the Angel Reese I think she has like millions of followers on Instagram, Twitter. Like and then she does like other type of videos. Like she don't just do she's like I don't want to say a YouTuber, but she's like a me what do you call it? What do they call people like Ari Fletcher? You know Ari Fletcher is?
yeah, influencers, social media.
Exactly like that. She's a part of that lane. That's kind of her lane as well as basketball. So she does that type of stuff too, which is bringing, you know what I'm saying, which has a lot to do with her popularity.
But yeah, so I understand where you're going with that, bro. But look at that. You talking about okay? So let me just compare it to what you're saying. Steph Curry, all right. He ain't no LeBron. He ain't as popular as LeBron, but Steph Curry is a global product, correct? And it's not, and he has the same social media and all that kind of stuff. He's a quote unquote influencer. I don't know if you follow Steph, but Steph be talking about all kind of weird stuff. You know what I mean? I just like him for his basketball highlights. But in the same breath, Angel Reese is going to have the same platform as that, but she won't be marketed globally. Now, yes, and as far as her own personal fans, unless this is what Angel Reese could do. If she has something else going on, like a reality TV show or something like that, she could be known for something like Liz Cambridge is known more for her OnlyFans than her basketball. You know what I mean? Let's be 100. Angel Reese can establish herself like that. But the WNBA ain't going their marketing team ain't going to all of a sudden get it tomorrow just because Angel Reese is in the league because everybody else that they have, man, you know what I mean? You don't know what happened to Maya Moore or Skylar Diggins Smith. All these people that they was just as popular as Angel Reese in college. Let's keep it a stack. I mean, they was a little bit more
Nah,
basketball.
they wasn't as popular. I don't think we've really seen. Candace Parker might have been. Candace Parker was pretty popular too, but she was also another, you know what I'm saying, another pretty girl. But
Thank you, bro. Maya Moore was probably the number one prospect, like touted. You know what I mean? And she was more popular, like more media publicity in her college era than Angel Reese is getting right now. Because the only
think
problem with
so? She
only
was a
problem,
beast. I remember her being. I remember Maya Moore being really, really good.
yeah, and
And
that's
she's pretty, and she was pretty too.
yeah, pretty, and also was a damn good basketball player. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't no
Yeah,
punk.
yeah, she was a beast. She was a beast. She
Um,
definitely was good, but she retired though. She retired a couple years ago.
that's why I say, bro. Me and you know that, but the WNBA didn't give her no goodbye tour. It wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
nobody.
that's true. That's true.
Nobody
That's true.
Nobody's talking about her now. As great as she was as a basketball player, as great as she was as a woman player. That's why I say, bro. And it's the fault of the WNBA, and it's not a bad thing. What they have to do is quit trying to take the NBA players' money and start taking their marketing people. Like, all right, who's the intern around here? Like, because at that point, somebody's gonna look at your stars and be like, man, we need to make sure this person get the most light, the most bright, all that. ESPN,
Exactly.
the NBA marketing team is tapped in with ESPN. I don't know no paperwork. I ain't seen no handshakes, but I just know it because the first thing you hear every morning, if it ain't LeBron, it's Steph. If it ain't Steph, it's the hot team in the league. It's Jai, it's Zion. Is because the NBA make sure, like, hey man, you know what I mean? We over here generating millions of dollars, and if you want to get a cut, make sure we get the first block. We know the NFL, you know what I mean, the most popular sport in the league. But if it ain't no Patrick Holmes highlight or Tom Brady highlight, the first thing you're gonna hear is LeBron, Steph, I mean, one of our boys. You feel me? Like, no knock on the NFL, dude. They just not as marketable. The NBA is not as popular as the NFL by any means. And the NFL make a
But
billion.
the individuals are more marketable. are more the individual players in the NBA are more popular than the individual players in the NFL. But as far as a whole, the NFL is more popular.
Yeah, as far as a product, yeah, everybody gonna be tapped in with the NFL. But as far as you want to market one dude on the court, you can because
Right.
NBA is just like that. But that's the problem. That's why I say it all goes back to the point that the WNBA, poor Angel Reese, like I say, she's gonna be known for more of
And
stuff off the court than she is gonna be on the court because the WNBA just treat their stars like trash, man. That's honestly that's the point I'm making. I wasn't trying to trash the WNBA, but they treat their best employees like trash. They're not even giving the Vegas Aces they like they supposed to.
they need
Which
to talk to Dana White. I mean, I know I go at the UFC a little bit because I'm a boxing guy, and I don't like how the UFC be trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to put boxing down and try to build up their sport. But I will give Dana White his flowers though, man. He's a hell of a promoter, and he did a amazing. He had Ronda Rousey. She was a top 3 to 5 popular athlete when she was her most popping. When she was popping the most that she was up there. Like she was one of the most popular athletes in the world. And Dana White that was his marketing. That was his marketing and how he was promoting her, how he was showing her to the world, and made the world fall in love with her. And yeah, man. So he does a great job marketing marketing his fighters and things like that. The WNBA could learn a lot from the UFC.
I agree. WNBA can learn a lot from any other place. Like I said, the college kids are about to start getting paid because they are marketed properly, especially during March Madness. You know what I'm saying? You know who the top 4 teams is in March Madness because they gonna market you and they gonna market the Anthony Davises. They gonna market the Caitlin Clark properly. You know what I mean? So much so that's why they had Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith come over there and start being the narrator. When they started making real money, they invested it properly because they knew Charles Barkley was going to bring his voice. Everybody that listened to Charles and Kenny Smith on TNT, they're going to listen to him on March Madness. And straight like that. Now they reaping the benefits of it. It's all, like I say, that when I look into the WNBA, bro, and that's why I love listening to you when you talk about the UFC because you inspire me really, bro. To be like, all right, let me find a a scam going on. The WNBA has been mine by
The
accident
thing
because
is, Dana does a good job marketing his fighters and marketing the product. It's just
right,
he pocketing the money and he ain't
right,
giving it
yeah,
to the fighters. But they become hella popular. I don't know if you ever seen Cadillac Records. I don't know if you ever seen that. But if you have seen Cadillac Records, anybody out there that's seen Cadillac Records, there's a scene in the movie where the white dude who's the owner of the record label Cadillac Records, and he's trying to shop his artist Chuck Berry around. Chuck Berry is played by Mos Def, and they go to meet with this executive, and they both sit in their chairs and they talking to the executive, and the executive says to the white dude, he says, "I'm gonna make you rich," and then he points at Chuck Berry and said, "I'm gonna make you famous." And Chuck Berry was like, "Hold on, wait." So he gets up and he asks the white man to move to the other chair, and he sits in the chair that the white dude was sitting in, basically saying, "Nah, you can make him famous. I want to be rich."
yeah. And that's what they do, man.
Yeah. And that's basically what the Dana White situation is. He's making these fighters like Israel Adesanya, John Jones, Conor McGregor's rich in his own right now, only because of that Floyd fight. But the Khabibs of the world, Kobe Covington, Usman, Kamaru Usman, he's making these guys famous, but he's making himself rich. He ain't making them rich. He making them famous, but he making himself rich. These guys normally they don't even crack $1 million for a fight.
Yeah, fact. No, that's a fact, and yeah, you're right though. That's a parallel because it's really sad for the UFC dudes too, man. Knowing how they go through, but the disadvantage for them is that boxing been had a lock on the market. You know, the combat market for eons. You know what I
For a
mean? And
long time.
they still pups in the well, really the marketing game because they've been marketed pretty good. You know, like you said for a long time, but it's gonna be a long time before they start making big money because it's gonna take the fighters to unite and be like, hey man,
Yeah, they need a union.
a
It's
union for
something.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
Or
proud of Francis Ngannou. He was the reigning UFC heavyweight champion, and he got up and walked out. He said, "I'm not doing it no more. I quit." And he walked out of the UFC as the heavyweight champion. John Jones just won the vacant heavyweight champion in the UFC and in the UFC, and now Francis Ngannou has a huge fight where he's gonna make more money in this fight than he made his whole UFC career. Add up all the fights that he fought in the UFC, he's about to make more money in one fight, in one boxing fight, than he made in the UFC his whole career fighting Tyson Fury. So,
yep.
I mean, kudos to him for making a stand and standing up to Dana White in the UFC for not paying what they deserve. The man was the UFC heavyweight champion, only making $600,000 a fight, and that's just unacceptable, especially when you're looking at the Alexander Usyks and the Anthony Joshua's and Tyson Fury's and Deontay Wilder's, and they getting paid $20 to $30 million a fight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the disadvantage for them because it's like you see your cousins, you know what I'm saying? Niggas over there doing the exact same stuff you doing, to a degree, and they making 10 times, no, 15 times the money. Like, come on, bro.
What you making? Yeah, and it's like, come on,
Uh,
man.
I mean, Spence and Crawford. I mean, I don't be counting, but I know off the fight alone, not the gate, not the pay per view and all whatever, but off the fight alone, they say they made 25 million. And
Oh,
they
so
say 20,
each,
25. Now you know, for them to
each,
have made that much, bro, the promoters had to have made what they needed to make.
yeah,
The commissions had to make what they had to make. So that kind of promotion, that kind of fight, that kind of magnitude, that
yeah.
kind of energy, the UFC gonna be they 100 years away from matching that kind of stuff. So these fighters really screwed. You know what I mean? They better off going to, like you say, a boxing or WWE. You know what I mean? Sadly, but nonetheless, bro, I was gonna say too. There was a couple of media topics, some shaking up in the media world. You know, our counterparts, a lot of stuff kind of moving around in the game right now. So I wanted to know your opinions because I've been covering this as well, about Shannon Sharpe. Well, I just heard today as well. Stephen A. said that Shannon Sharpe ain't signed no contracts, ain't nothing in stone or anything, but. Uh, like the number one sports dude at the New York Post is the dude that broke the story, and
Yeah.
he on like, as far as New York sports, they say he on Wojnarowski level. I don't know too much about the dude. I even forgot his name, but Stephen A. is like, trying to diss the reports, but everybody is like, nah, this dude credible. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't say this if it wasn't true. So I think it's true, and I'm gonna roll with it. Because Stephen A. been doing a lot of capping and lying lately too, bro. We have to get into it. What you think about Shannon Sharpe going on at ESPN to talk some football?
Oh, so they actually signed him. ESPN did.
So, so this is what the swirl of the story is right now, bro. So, and all this just happened today. So for the past 48 hours or so, it's been out there that Shannon Sharpe. No, actually, since he left Undisputed, they've been saying that he gonna go. It's been in the works that he gonna probably go to ESPN with Stephen A. Stephen A. even publicly said yes, he acknowledged that he do want Shannon Sharpe over there on the team and all that, blah blah blah. Uh, and
Definitely,
so
definitely.
so a big New York sports journalist, he broke the story that Shannon Sharpe will be for sure joining ESPN, and he'll be joining them on Mondays and Tuesdays to talk,
Mhm.
Sunday football and Monday night football. So those
That
will be his 2 days. So
I don't like that. I don't like that position for him because that's the same exact position that he had a position on NFL Countdown before he went to Undisputed, and it didn't. It really didn't work out. I mean, he didn't have the opportunity to stand out. And then you pigeonholed him to just football when Shannon Sharpe can talk about all sports, really.
that's true. I think, unfortunately though, I think Shannon Sharpe just don't have the confidence to kind of do his own thing. You know,
But he
you
was
know what,
doing it
like,
though. He was doing it though. Like I watched his interview with Steve Harvey. That was a hell of an interview. His questions was on point. He was getting Steve Harvey to talk about the things that the viewers want to hear, the things that I was wondering about Steve Harvey. You know, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and Steve Harvey actually went to school with my aunt. And it's a lot of things that I learned about Steve Harvey that I didn't know, and that's from Shannon Sharpe being a good, putting his journalist hat on and asking the right questions and steering the conversation to entertaining topics, and he's really good at that. His club Shay Shay thing is that he got going. I mean, honestly, if he want to just do that and just put that on YouTube, he'll make hella money. He don't even really need no network.
hey, see, bro, that's why I said Shannon Sharpe has the talent, but I don't. In my opinion, just evaluating, I don't think he has the confidence. Shannon Sharpe reminds me of like you ever hooped or been back in the high school days. You know, the dude that had like the most talent on the team, but he wouldn't really shoot and all that kind of stuff because he was just kind of timid. And they were like, "Bro, I'm passing you the ball because I know you can go get a bucket." You feel me? Like I don't know if you ever had that encounter, but. Uh, I mean, surely I have, but I'm just saying that to say that Shannon Sharpe has the talent of a Stephen A. Smith, of a Skip Bayless, to the point where I would say he would surpass those dudes just because he's more, popular with common dudes like us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I
And
just
he
don't think he got
actually,
that.
in contrast to Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, he has the more credibility than them because he's a Hall of Fame athlete. He's literally the greatest tight end to ever play football. In my opinion, I think he's the greatest tight end to ever do it. And so you got that under your belt. So you got the credibility on top of the journalist skills. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, they could say something or give a topic. An athlete could come out to them and say, well, you ain't never did nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like how Jalen Rose tore Skip up because he was a bum. Like you you
Water
played
pistol people.
exactly. You played JV as a what did he play JV as a senior?
Yeah, clown.
Skip Bayless. Yeah, I mean you can't if Shannon Sharpe that's why I wish Shannon Sharpe would have pushed back against Skip because he could have roasted Skip even worse than Jalen Rose did because as a football player, if you compare their careers, Shannon Sharpe was better than Jalen Rose. As you know what I'm saying, comparing career versus career, Shannon Sharpe had a way better career than Jalen Rose did. And he had the credentials to really go in on Skip Bayless. Like, all right, so who are you? Like, you telling me I ain't nothing? What you do? I'm a Hall of Famer. What did you do? Like, and Jalen Rose really went in. I don't know if you've seen that video. It was from a while ago. You know, of course, Skip Bayless was on ESPN. I think this was from like 2011 or 12 that
Come on,
happened.
bro. Come on, bro.
But
Don't play me. Don't play me, bro. I was in the studio. When it happened. I was like, no, this is. Nah, I know exactly what you're referring. And see, that's the thing about the Skip Baylesses and Stephen A. Bro, they both scumbags. At the end of the day, I hate to say it like that, but just to be honest and be straightforward, these dudes are scumbags. I just found out, bro. Oh man, I just found out so much stuff about my boy Stephen A. Like, Stephen A. Smith is the kind of dude where if I do something, you know what I mean? Those kind of bosses and managers, like I come in late, he don't say nothing, but you come in late, he got, hey man, what's going on? I might have to write you up. Please start playing with your money. I don't know if you ever had a boss like that, but Stephen A. is that kind of. You know what I'm saying? I definitely have multiple. Stephen A. is the kind of guy that just he's like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? When Kyrie Irving do something, oh, he all over it. You know what I'm saying? He gonna jump on the story. But if Dana White do something, man, that's my friend. He's soft voicing it. You know what I mean? If a woman do something, oh, it's always about his sisters and his mama. Like, come on, man. Like. If Kwame Brown do something, oh, it's a 20-year beef. You feel me? Like it's just crazy. But
well, I mean, just to shoot him some bill on that Dana White situation, though, that she did slap him first, and he really didn't slap her that hard. So I will
Like,
say that I mean I understand where you're coming from with Dana White thing because it wasn't. I mean it wasn't nothing now if he would have Ray Reister, if he Ray Reister and he did that, then I'd be looking at Stephen A. Smith like, man, you got to get this guy off TV, man, because
bro,
this is freaking. He's like on some like he on some weird stuff.
bro, I 1000% agree with you. But you know what? You know what the dagger is on Stephen A. is. You know what the and we all know it. We all know this would be true. Picture Kyrie Irving slapping the hell out of his girl. Do you think for a sec? Picture Kwame Brown slapping the shit out of a woman on camera. Do you think Stephen A. gonna let that man? He ain't finna. My friend, soft voice. Think about it.
Yeah.
No, I honestly believe that if Kyrie Irving was on camera slapping a woman, bro, Stephen A. Smith would make it. He would dedicate the rest of his career to getting Kyrie Irving blackballed. I
Yeah,
honestly believe
he
that.
don't really mess with Kyrie. I don't know what happened. Something might have happened behind the scenes or something. I don't know. He really got it in for Kyrie. But
Look, bro,
Kyrie gives people a lot of ammo though. He be doing a lot of weird stuff.
yeah, but there ain't no reason to hate them. Wait, we've seen multiple weirdos in the NBA. Dennis Rodman, really? Draymond and Green ain't a weirdo. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I'm just
Draymond
saying
Green, brother.
the energy got to be the same. Or you know what you're supposed to do from the jump? Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, I appreciate your style, bro. And I try to, approach my channel the same way, especially when I'm reporting the news. I try to keep an even keeled amount of energy for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If Steph Curry do something wrong, I'm on his heels. If Michael
He don't
Jordan
never
do
do
something
nothing
wrong, I'm
wrong.
on his. Huh?
Steph Curry don't never do nothing wrong.
Yes, but that's because the man got common sense. Common sense ain't common. We all, as you get older, you start noticing that more and more. So, but in the same breath, if LeBron do something wrong, who I criticize all day long, I ain't gonna say it like that as a hater, but I'll be quicker to criticize than per se somebody else. I'm gonna get on his heels if he do something wrong. But in the same breath, if Steph Curry do something right, I'm giving him his adoration. I'm giving him his flowers. If LeBron do something
Yeah,
right, it's the same energy because you
yeah.
can't run around here trying to destroy certain people and then somebody else is guilty of the same crime or guilty of something worse or just guilty period and you finding all kind of context and kind of reasons to shoot them bail like nah bro
All
I
type
don't
of
like
bill, like giving, posting all kind of bill, huh?
yeah bro it get to a point where it get disgusting because
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith now has a long history of this, you know what I mean, like he it's so I don't know if you know, but it's famous that he outed Allen Iverson for partying and all that kind of stuff instead of practicing. But in my head, it's like, bro, if I had a story like that, let's just say, bro, on you know what I'm saying, you was doing something behind the scenes. I'm not finna go make a video about it so I can get the clicks and views. Like, Marlow out here wilded. Like, nah, what's for, bro? Because it's like, you
And
know,
AI was supposed to be his man.
exactly scumbag behavior. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you know, bro, but Stephen A. Smith, his whole journalist career started with him outing his basketball coach, bro. Like, I don't know, his basketball coach did something wild, and Stephen A. Smith wrote a column about it. And
Wow.
then, yeah, bro, and it was people that wanted to put hands on Stephen A. Smith after that because a coach always got his favorites and all, his loyals, So some dudes were trying to
A-
put their hands on Stephen
from
A.
what I
And
heard, AI wanted to put hands on him.
facts, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. This dude is crazy, bro. Stephen A. Smith is and I said this in one of my videos. Sometimes when he say stuff, bro, he like the most 50-50 sports journalist I've ever listened to because sometimes when he say stuff, I 100% agree with him, and then when he say other stuff,
Yeah.
I 1000% disagree with him. So it's like,
No, I like Stephen A. Smith. You know what I'm saying. I actually I like all of them. Really, I like Skip Bayless. I like them all, but it's just certain things that's like, come on, man. Like with the Skip with Skip when he went in on Shannon like that, that was crazy. Like how you gonna go in on your man like that? Like you this is somebody you see every day. I'm pretty sure y'all done went out to dinner together. He know your family, you know his, and you really gonna go in on him like that for somebody that don't even care about you. Like Tom Brady don't care about no Skip Bayless. And
nah,
he worshiping this dude like he God.
he
You,
a scumbag, bro.
Tom
that's
Brady
what it
don't
did.
care about you.
Scumbags don't prioritize healthy relationships. What scumbags do is they tear down healthy relationships, and I hate to say it like that, but it's documented behavior. You know what I mean? And Skip Bayless is guilty of it. Stephen A is guilty of it as well. That's why it's, a lot of these dudes don't rock with him. You know what I mean? Stephen A. Smith should be LeBron James, Amar Rashad. You feel me? Like that, they should have that kind of relationship.
Oh
Stephen
no,
A. Smith
no.
should,
Well, you said Stephen A should have the same relationship with LeBron that Amar Rashad has with Jordan.
my opinion, in my opinion, as far as status goes.
Because what's the name? I don't know if you heard this, but Stephen A. Smith recently came out and he said that he got into it with Rich Paul because
Yeah,
Rich Paul was upset because he won't call LeBron the GOAT. And he
yeah,
said, I got him as the second greatest player of all time. And then it's like you acting like that's disrespectful. And then Rich Paul looked him in his face and said, it is disrespectful. And then Stephen A said he told Rich Paul to his face, get the F out of my face. I'm
yeah.
like, I'm listening to the video. Just, you know what I'm saying, just listening to it on my phone. I had to put the phone down and I started clapping like Stephen A could hear me. I'm like, that's the best thing I heard all day.
No, for real. And shout out to Stephen A. because I was aware of that, and that's I know that's the reason why he isn't LeBron James, quote unquote, Amar Rashad, because where Amar Rashad, he wasn't no meat rider or nothing like that. He wasn't just going around proclaiming Michael Jordan with the GOAT all day every day. You know what I'm saying? But he was Jordan's media right hand man. You feel me? So I
but
understand their
that's
relationship was totally
but
different.
but
But
that's the thing though. Jordan don't need nobody. He don't need nobody to do that. Like
exactly.
he needs the Nick Wrights and the Kendrick Perkins and the Shannon Sharps and himself. He needs
No, for real.
people to scream it because everybody like it's he feels like it's not enough people because it's not true. It's not true.
No,
So LeBron,
exactly.
I mean Jordan ain't pressed about nobody saying it, and people that support Jordan ain't pressed about saying it because it's like
Exactly.
common knowledge. Like, do we have to scream that grass is green? Do we have to scream
Exactly.
that the sky is blue?
Exactly.
Everybody already knows it.
That's the whole psychology behind LeBron and his fans, bro. That you got to keep repeating a lie so you will believe it. The day you don't repeat it, you're gonna start thinking too hard about it and like,
Exactly.
so you gotta wake up.
Exactly.
You gotta wake up every morning, repeat that lie. Around noon hour, repeat that line. Before you go to sleep, repeat the line. You know what I mean? Continue on the vicious cycle. And I've seen LeBron fans come out of it, bro. I done convinced a few LeBron fans like, bro, your man's ain't who you think he is. And then it came around, they wouldn't be so fast to say like, quote unquote Jordan the GOAT, but they'll say like, man, I see what you're saying, bro. LeBron ain't the GOAT, and that's good. That's a good first step for a bronsexual. You know what I mean? Like, them niggas they be confused, but ultimately it's because the dude himself, LeBron, is delusional, and you see Rich Paul is delusional, and I applaud Stephen A. Smith as well for saying essentially what I would have said in that situation. Like, bro, you bugging. You know what I mean? But I still can't trust Stephen A. Man. That's why I say that's that 100%. Where sometimes I agree with him. You know what I mean? He gonna come around the corner eventually and say something bugged out. It's a
I
matter
mean, a
of
lot
time.
of times when you got that kind of money that they playing with, and that, you know what I'm saying, Stephen A. Smith is probably he getting at least 50 mil a year. I'm pretty sure he getting some money. He getting money. He looked like he
No,
got money. Getting money. So I
no,
mean,
yeah.
so a lot of times, man, when it comes to business and all that stuff, I mean, I guess you got to do shady stuff from time to time when it comes to money like that.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, no, you definitely if you're gonna get that big, yeah, no, yeah, you definitely got to do some get some stuff. That's why I'm always gonna try to keep this this humble. I would like to make a good living off this, but if ESPN ever come calling, I'm like, I'm good, bro. I gotta keep this organic, bro, because y'all gonna want some Malika Andrews type chick running my channel, and I'm like, nah, 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 nah.
If you big enough for ESPN to reach out to you, then you don't need ESPN.
It's hey, bro, amen, bro. I'm still in that, bro. I'm putting that in the group. That's dope,
And
bro. Because
that's
that's
facts. And shout out to Cameron and Mace, man. I heard they just signed a $30 million deal with some type of independent company. So shout out to them as well, man. They definitely are you know what I'm saying, what new media is made about, man. You know, guys that started from doing something else to going to sports though. So I love to see that.
oh yeah. I like that channel. Definitely support that movement. You know what though? Only thing I don't really rock with is that they didn't play the game, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. Oh yes, it did. Yes, it did. Forgot they used to hoop. Nah, I'm proud of my boys. I was just capping.
Yeah, they did their thing with that, and they show is like that's one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, man. That's a hell of a show, man. They always come with the jokes and come with the laughter. They be off with a little with a some of they takes be off, like how
Yeah,
they said Jermell Charlo went to the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight to scout his next opponent, and they was trying to make it seem like if Errol Spence won, he Jermell would have fought Errol. They don't know what they talking about. Jermell and Errol is probably closer than Jermell and Jamal are, and they
yeah,
twins.
yeah.
He would
Fact.
never fight Errol. He would never fight Errol Spence.
I said the same thing, bro. Like, and if they did, because Errol said he would fight Jamel, but the only way he would is if, like, you know what I mean? It was just like nothing else. Everybody else was off the table. They don't wipe the whole world clean. You know what I'm saying? So, and all due respects, I think they would scrap, but only if it was like, mutually agreed. Like this is the only fight, it's the biggest fight. We both finna walk away 350. Shut Mayweather ass up finally. And I think because just off being businessmen, but
To
yeah,
be
nah, they
honest,
they don't
I
they
think
off
if
that.
it was between him fighting Errol and him fighting his brother, I honestly think he would fight his brother.
No, yeah, same. I think you right on target with as far as Jamel being closer to Arrow because just what I mean. I've been following both. I've been following Arrow for about the last 10 years, and then I just caught on to Jamel about the last 3 years. So nah, them boys
Yeah,
thick as thieves. I done seen all their little spars and all that stuff. They spar like
that's
brothers. You feel me?
that's his boy right there. And I don't know if you've seen. I mean, just to segue over to the boxing. I don't know if you've seen Jamal. I mean, I'm sorry, not Jamal. Jamel is shoot. He shot Errol some bell, man. He shot him some hella bell, and it's got the internet talking, man. And it's what I'm saying. You seeing the highlights popping up and everything like that. He's the first person that pointed out and said that Terrence Crawford was hitting Errol Spence behind the head, and that's what he said. That's what threw him off. And when I first watched the video, I'm like, he's what I'm saying. He's just trying to take up for his boy. But then I started seeing videos popping up everywhere where they showing it, and it's like, yeah, that first knockdown, Terrence Crawford did hit him in the back of the head, and then he hit him in the back of the head several times later on in the fight as well. I'm not saying Bud did it on purpose, but he was hitting him in the back of the head.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I gotta rewatch the fight again to catch that. But see, my thing too about that is that I think when Arrow come back. If he come back at 154 and he bring his strength with him, and like I say, my hot take on the whole situation is that he got linked back up with his boy Blu-ray because it's no coincidence that I mean beyond getting tapped up, that Bud was doing his thing even with the hits in the back of the head. Errol was trying to do stuff he couldn't get a clean hit,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like
No,
that was the deciding factor of the fight. You
yeah,
feel
no,
me?
I'm not trying to take no credit away from Bud at all because I honestly don't think it was Bud's fault. Hold on.
But nah, yeah, I think that.
Yeah, I don't. My bad. I honestly don't think. I don't think it was Bud's fault because Errol was like kind of like move like Bud would be like mid punch and then Errol would try to duck it, but he's not ducking it all the way, and he's moving, but he's moving in a position where the only place that the punch can land is to the back of the head.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a fact. My thing was that Errol Spence, and I said this, I can't believe it that I'm even saying this because I remember Terrence Crawford saying this a long time ago. And then he reset it before he fought that David Avanesian dude. But it was like Errol gonna stay at 147 too long. You know, he gonna be dehydrated. He gonna be drained. He ain't gonna look like the Errol y'all know because Errol been a welterweight his entire career. Like you know when you're younger and you got more energy and all that stuff, then yeah, you can keep up a weight. But now he older. You know, diet done slowed down. He was walking around at 190. I heard. So that's damn near you can go ahead and give him 200. It's like, bro, it would be best, and I agree with Floyd. He was like, it'd be best if Errol just go ahead and come back at 160. You know what I mean? Just healthy. Errol got. I would like to see him fight a probably. No, Bivol is Dimitri Bivol. He a light heavyweight, ain't he?
Yeah, no, Dimitri Bivol is he's 175.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be a stretch to get Errol all the way up there, but at least 160, 168. You definitely start making some noise in those classes because he just getting too old for that. You know,
a lot of big fights. It's a lot of big fights at once. I would like to see him come back and fight Triple G. That'd be a hell of a fight.
Triple G ain't retired yet. That nigga like 44.
Even if he old though, you know, that'll be a good tunnel fight.
I mean, yeah. I take who else in 160 though that you see though? I want to see him fight Thurman, man. I'll be honest. Him and Keith Thurman.
That's another one, but I don't want him to fight Thurman at 147 though. If he does fight Thurman, I would rather it happen. Yes, orange baby. Let's go. I would rather him fight Thurman at 154.
Yeah, that's Thurman said he'll fight at 154. And Thurman thirsty for the fights right now. You know, ain't nobody called that.
He been thirsty. That's why he been sitting out all this time. He waiting for Spencer Bud. I don't think he won't Bud no more. But I think he'll fight Spencer. He running from Boots. He's so scared of Boots. I don't know if you seen that video of him arguing with Boots' family, his cousins and all that, and calling them all type of out his name.
Well, it's rightfully so, man. And I know he'll never admit it, but Boots is the next generation. Let's call it what it is. And I believe, didn't Virgil T just take an L?
Yeah. Boots is the next big thing. And I actually did a video about Boots after he beat Romain Villa in July, but they took it down because of copyright issues. But yeah, man, I call him the biggest boogeyman in boxing.
Facts. And he 25, 26. I don't know Boogie. I mean, I don't even know if Boots 25 yet, but he ain't older than that. He a part of the next generation, man. Unfortunately for him, all these dudes are 30 plus. Maybe if somebody was a 28, 29, they give him a shot. But you know, at this point, Boots is part of the next generation, and I'm not saying none of them dudes are scared, but it's a lot more mileage on Keith Thurman's gloves than it is on Boots. So, you know, Keith Thurman need to be fighting with a fighter that's tested like an arrow as well, because both them niggas is beat up. You know what I mean? So dexterity and all that stuff gonna be a little bit slow. But I'm not gonna say Keith Thurman's scared. I just think everybody know what they looking at, just like we know what we looking at. You know what I mean? Boots ain't no. Boots wouldn't be no.
Roy Jones.
Man, honestly. The thing that's the thing too, yeah, bro. It's like if Bud and Roy Jones was meshed into. They did a little Dragon Ball Z meshing. That's what Boots look like.
Exactly. Man, that dude is scary.
But what you think about this? Speaking of Jamel, who you got in this Canelo and Charlo fight, man? That's the next big one.
I'm picking Canelo, but I hope Jamel win because you know I like Jamel. Jamel is my man, man. I really like him. But if I had to put money on it, then I put the money on Canelo just because he's bigger and he's proven to hit he hits hard, man. And Jamel gets hit in his fights, man. He's not really like that defensive guru. So if Canelo touches him, it's not gonna be pretty.
But he took some bombs with Castaño, Brian Castaño. He took some bombs, bro.
Castaño is not Canelo.
Is Castaño Mexican?
Yeah, he is. But he ain't Canelo.
So that's what I'm saying. No, and I'm not saying apples to apples in any regard. I'm just saying he could take it. He could take a hit. But like you said, like I wouldn't say, taking a hit from Canelo is the same as taking a hit from Castano. I was just watching, rewatching that fight though when he went undisputed, just trying to see. And I also watched Dimitri Bivol. I watched that Dimitri Bivol and Canelo fight like once a month, bro. That's just one of my favorite fights to catch up on. Uh, I, you know, if Derrick James and Jamel are watching that Dimitri Bivol and Canelo fight, and then saying, "What can we do to stop this dude, bro?" If they working on keeping his guard up, and Canelo can, because he gonna get through that guard a couple of times. But if he can, then somehow keep his guard up long enough to get through the fight and counter, because Jamel is a good counter puncher as well. He had to counter his way to a victory. I don't see him just boxing straight up with Canelo. But if he keep his guard up, don't let Canelo get too many entries. Canelo gonna wear himself out because he was gassed in that Dimitri Bivol fight by the eighth,
Yeah.
ninth round.
I think what it's gonna come down to is Jermell able to bring his power up to 168?
That's another huge factor. Which I think it's easier to bring your power up than it is to keep it, when you're down. Especially at the walk around weight, you know what I mean? Like these dudes already be walking around with 170, 180 pounds. 180, 190 pounds anyway. So uh, I don't think it'd be difficult for him to bring his power with him. What I'm more so concerned is because Jamel is a counterpuncher. You know what I'm saying? He gonna need his instincts there. How old is Jamel? Do you know?
Jermel's probably about 30.
30. Yeah, I know Spence 33, Canelo 33. So
He
yeah,
might be 30. If he's not 30, then he's 31 or 32 at the most.
Yeah, no, because he turned 32 5 days after he went undisputed. I remember the announcer saying that him and Jamal's going to celebrate their birthdays. So he's 32. When did he go undisputed? Last year?
You said he did what
2021.
last year?
He went undisputed in 2021.
Yeah, that was 2021. Yeah, that was
Like
2021.
Yeah, it was like December. I remember. So yeah, I mean, I think he could bring that power with him. I mean, it'd be more so about reflexes and dexterity, speed. You put too much muscle on, then your punches ain't snapping like they supposed to. And he definitely should have took a tune. Definitely should have took a tune up. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he definitely should have took a tune-up fight. I feel like he probably should have fought Danny Garcia before this Canelo fight. I feel like, I'm gonna take that back. He should have fought somebody at 168. He should have went to 168 before the Canelo fight and fought like an easier opponent.
Just to get a feel for it.
Just to get used and then also get comfortable with the weight.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with that stable between Jamel, Errol. Jamal ain't been in commission in so long. I don't really know if I could put that on, but Errol should have took a tune up.
He ain't fought in so long.
It's like 3 years now this time. But Errol should have took a tune up, and Jamel. But I think they be having that pride, like they just feel like they always ready. You know what I mean?
Thurman was actually supposed to be Spence's tune-up, man. After watching that fight, though, man, I don't know, man. I gotta kind of rethink the Thurman because I thought Errol would beat Thurman pretty easily, but now after watching that, the Thurman is a little bit more versatile than any of Errol's recent opponents. Thurman might have gave him some trouble.
But no, well, maybe this is the only deciding factor. If he would have fought Thurman, he would have went to 154. You remember he was talking about going to 154 and then coming back down to 147, and everybody was saying, like that would be a bad idea. But he was talking about fighting Thurman at 154. He never said he was gonna fight Thurman at 147.
But now I'm starting to think that the reason why he wanted to do that at 154 was because he thought Thurman might give him some trouble at 147.
Nah, he only, and I'm not saying yes or no to that because at this point, we don't know with them two, man. They be on their own time. But I'm gonna say this though. I think Errol was just trying to keep his word to the fans as far as fighting Bud. You know what I mean? I think Errol got too hung up on that. Where, yeah, man, we did want that fight and all that stuff, but unfortunately, you know what I mean. We see that was to your detriment. And even when the fight happened, it was a little past his prime. You know what I mean? We should have got this fight 2 or 3 years ago, but uh, at least a year ago, guaranteed. But at the same time. That fight was past his prime, and now you done took a L, but you can come back, and now and now he got to get back to the original plan, which was going to 154 and doing this thing there. Try to hurry up and try to get to 160 in the next year or two. I mean, you should have just went on here and went to
I
154,
think his
and they.
his relationship with Jermell made it kind of hard to go to 154 too, because Jermell had all the belts.
No, true. That's why he didn't want to go to 150. That's why he was adamant about. I mean, it was there's always multiple things when it comes down to these fights, and then I only know this because I've been following Errol for so long. But I know he was, you know, uh, very serious about the Bud Crawford fight. It's just like towards the end, after Bud took that David Avenesian fight, you know what I'm saying? He should have went to. Everybody is inconsistent of saying like he should have went to 154 then, but he didn't, and then so forth. History wrote itself out.
Yeah, Earl was chasing undisputed, so he didn't want to go to 154
Right.
until he became undisputed.
And Jamel had already got undisputed, so seeing your bro get it, that's your next challenge. You want to say you got it too.
Yeah, so I understand. But I still agree with you though. I think he stayed there too long.
Yeah, man. I wish. I mean, and then it's all shoulda, woulda, coulda. Because if he would have beat Bud, then we got a whole different. Now we're talking about Errol versus Canelo. Now we're talking about all those kind of fights. So, I mean, it happened the way it happened. Now I'm more interested, and this is something I had on the table. Uh, I mean, I had it on the docket for the topics. Bud talking about fighting Tank at 147, but he won't fight Boots at 147. How you feel about that? And I
Well,
want. I
but
want.
the reason he gave for it makes sense though, because Boots is not a huge. He's not a big enough name. So if him fighting Tank is gonna bring a lot of money, him fighting Boots is not gonna bring a lot of money.
Facts. Yeah, and I agree with him 100% on that. I just read up on that quote. Yeah, probably yesterday or two. But yeah, I like that makes total sense because Tank, Tank gonna do his numbers. I think he cleaned up 25 million on his fight too. Probably not more, but
Yeah, the Ryan and Tank fight actually sold more than it sold more pay-per-views than the Bud and Spence.
yeah, I know that. I was more hyped about that fight than I was about Spencer Crawford. You know what I mean? I'd be personally.
Oh no, I was more hyped about Spence and Crawford.
I was, like I say, man, I was hyped about it. I'm not going to cap, but it was just more so like past his prime, bro. That's why I don't have a lot of videos about, leading up to the fight because I had been following them fools for 5 years, both of them, just seeing them go back and forth. I know you remember a couple years ago when it was like going live together, and then Bud made that video when he booked the David Avenesian fight, talking all this goofy stuff, whatever the case. That was when I tapped out, bro. Honestly, that's why I say this fight should have happened a year ago, to the point where I probably would have, and had a little fight with my wife, bro. When I'm out there in Vegas with you, watching the fight in person. So, and a year ago I was invested, but this time, like this year.
When do you think it should have happened?
To be honest, prime time, 2021. After Arrow beat, after he beat Ugas. That was 2021, right?
That was 2022.
That was 2022.
Yeah, he just beat him in April last year.
Okay. Nuh-uh. It couldn't have been April last year. But then he would have fought. He didn't fought since April 2021.
Nah, he ain't fought since April 2022.
2022. Yeah, he been gone for.
Yeah,
They say it's,
2020.
yeah. It was a year and some change. So yeah, you're right. I think this fight should have happened December 2022. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in between.
Instead of the Abenesian fight, it should have been early.
Exactly. Because
But I mean,
April
that's still not far off. I mean, that's not far off. That's only a few months off.
and to be fair, Bud kind of ruined the timing as well because everybody knew Spence was fighting Ugas. Once they booked that fight, then Bud should have booked him a tune-up. Because obviously, just in case if you got to fight Spence or Ugas, the undisputed is still on the line. But I think Bud purposely kind of waited it out. And like I say, Spence stayed at 147 too long, and it worked against him. Because if he would have fought him in December 22, I think Spence still got his power. I think he still, got a chance at that point. But July
I don't know, man.
2023.
The way the fight looked, like, I mean, I know I said that Bud was hitting him behind the head, but Spence he looked a little bit too easy to hit. He looked for Bud, and I think what it was, and a few people have already pointed this out, including Bob Arum, is that Spence wasn't used to fighting those southpaws. And I was wondering when I was watching the fight, like I think I said this the last time we was on, but when I was wondering why when I'm watching the fight, like how is Bud hurting this fool with jabs? Like he was hurting him with jabs, but it's because he went southpaw, but he right-handed, so he went southpaw. So now his jab is a power punch.
Yep. And the craziest part about it, bro, which I think this was the key to all of it. And I think this fight was decided, like I said, if it would have happened in 2021, 2022, whatever time I'm talking about, I'm projecting, I see the same result as well. Because Bomac said that they knew they figured Spence out a long time ago. And Bomac is the one, you and Bomac pieced it together. After I listened to your review of the fight, like I say, it gave me a complete different understanding of the fight in a sweet science way. But listening to Bomac discuss it, he was like, bro, we knew what Spence was going to do years ago because Spence only has a game. He only has a game plan. One game plan.
He don't got no plan B.
And once you take away his strengths, he and Bomac said it, he gonna be like a deer in the headlights. And that's exactly what he was because Spence he flat footed. So if you can start hitting him, he ain't got the footwork to be dodging your shots or what I mean. He can go 2 or 3 levels as far as dodging and moving his head, but ultimately you going against a craftsman like Bud, you gotta be able to you gotta have more tricks in your bag, which is crazy because looking at Sean Porter and looking at they fight now, it's like, bro, I got a whole different appreciation for Sean Porter's fighting style. Like, I wish Sean was still fighting. I want to get a rematch between him and Bud because Sean is a lot craftier. He moves, he tricky, and doing all this crazy stuff. I think if they had a rematch, he might be able to catch Bud because that was just a more entertaining fight, more closer fight.
Yeah, I actually shouted you out in the video, the post-fight video that I made. I was like, me and my boy Tony Savant, man. This Tony Savant called him Podcast Porter. That wasn't Podcast Porter, man. That was the same Sean Porter that Spence fought.
Facts. And I think the only discount, and I appreciate that shout out, bro. I seen it in the video. The only discount, like he's on record saying that, and even Kenny Porter, his dad, was saying that they didn't train. Sean was being hard headed. He didn't go through his full regimen, especially in the last stretch of the training. So I think if Sean does all of that stuff and he crossed all his T's and dotted all his I's, we looking at it. I ain't saying he beating Bud, but I'm thinking we getting a trilogy at least. You feel me? But
Sean actually came out and basically he, in so many words, as respectfully as he probably could. But I mean, it was kind of a disrespectful type of thing. But on his Porterweight podcast, he kind of called his dad a liar and said he did prepare for the fight.
No. He said he prepared for the fight, but his dad wanted him to do swimming, those some stuff that he said he'd been doing his entire career that he felt like he didn't do because he said he felt like he was hitting the bag right, he was doing everything. And he said as a veteran fighter, excuse me, as a veteran fighter, championship fighter, he was like, dad, he felt like his dad should have trusted him more as far as what he can do. But now seeing the result of the fight, He did say that he should have listened to his dad. But I get what you're getting. Excuse me. I'm trying to say this without stuttering. I can see where you got that from because I got that initially as well. But that's why I say reevaluating his fight with Sean Porter's fight with Bud, Spence and Bud fighting, and just seeing all of the stuff that Sean Porter brings to the ring. Like I say, if Sean Porter admitted himself that he wasn't fully ready. No matter if Kenny Porter was lying, Sean Porter was lying. No matter what Sean Porter said, he wasn't ready, and we only know this by the result of the fight. But if Kenny Porter is even insinuating that
he could be, he was ready as he could be.
True.
It wasn't gonna be nothing. Sean Porter, the most ready he could be. Sean Porter at his best. I feel like it would have been the same way, man. Just Bud is just better. He's just better than these guys. And even when I just brought up the thing Jamel said, and even if he was hitting Errol in the back of the head, it really doesn't matter. Like you said, it really don't matter. He was gonna win regardless. He's just better. He's just better than these guys, man. And I do want to apologize to Bud Crawford because I actually made a video saying that he was afraid of Canelo. And
I remember that video. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I said he was afraid of Canelo, but now I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he went on the Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and he said he's willing to go up to one. He said if whoever wins this fight between Canelo and Jermell, he's going up to 168 to fight. If he has to go, if you know what I'm saying, if he has to, if Jermell wins, then Jermell might come back down to 154. So then he ain't got to worry about doing that. But if Canelo wins, he said he's going to 168. And I got to give him his props, man. I called him out. I said, this is too much money to pass up. This is the biggest fight in boxing. Everything I said in the video, he repeated and said that's the reason why he's going to go to 168 to fight Canelo if Canelo wins. So I got to give him his props, man. He really, he surprised me with that because I made a whole video talking about how he's scared, how he's a punk, and everything like that. And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna fight Canelo. If Canelo wins, I'm gonna fight Canelo. I'm gonna go up to 168 to fight him." And I'm like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, he's like verbatim every point that I made in my video. He's like, it's the biggest fight in boxing. This, that, and the third. And I told him, I said that in the video. I'm like, this fight, if Canelo and Bud fight, that's gonna be the biggest fight. It might be as big or almost as big as Floyd versus Manny. That's too much money. You talking about $100 million for each fight. Each fighter is gonna get $100 million at least for that fight. And it's too much. It's too much money to pass up. It's too much. And I know Bud walks around at 170 plus. I know he does. He can fight. He can go up there and fight Canelo. And that's what I was saying in the video. Is like, man, Canelo is not too big for you. And what made me make that video is Shakur Stevenson had made he had did an interview saying that he feels like Bud will beat Canelo.
Man, get Shakur out of here, man. I like Shakur as a boxer, but he a little annoying on the publicity side, and I'm just shooting bail in the sense of I don't think Shakur kind of like stands on his own. You know what I mean? Like he always riding with somebody else, but
Bud is his dude. Bud is his dude. Like he's like I'm trying to think of like an analogy, but it's like a sports analogy. Like what's two boxers that really? He's like well, not even like Adrian. He's closer to Bud than Adrian Broner was to Floyd. Like how Errol and Jermell are. That's how Shakur and Bud is. They tight. Like they really close.
Yeah, that's why I can respectfully take that. That's why I can't really take his evaluation of the match seriously because now you sound biased. Now you just totally discounting what Canelo bring, which ain't no Canelo ain't no punk.
He ain't no scrub, but I agree with Shakur wholeheartedly. I think Bud, if they make this fight, this is a big if. I don't want to write Jamel off because Jamel could easily beat Canelo, but if Canelo beats Jamel, I don't feel like Canelo stands a chance against Bud.
True. Right. I think yeah. I mean, we said that about. I'm gonna say this too though, because I'm never gonna jump off a bridge again for boxing. I jumped off the bridge for Errol Spence, and I felt horrible when my boy took his L. So I don't ever want to feel that pain again. I will say that if Bud goes up, and this is another thing. I think that this fight we talking about this, but this so far off. Bud gonna be damn near better off fighting Tank Davis or something because I think that Jamel or Canelo, whichever one of them lose, gonna go for a rematch. The same way we just seen Canelo try to rematch with Bivol, and it just didn't work out. But
Canelo didn't want to rematch Bivol. He didn't want that.
Well, he shouldn't want no rematch because that he was just gassing himself out, hitting a brick wall out there.
He bit off more than he could chew. He's not big enough to go to 175. And Bivol's power. Once he felt Bivol's power, he didn't press the same way he does.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because Canelo a pressure cookie.
But yeah, I mean that's the biggest fight in Bud versus Tank would be a big fight. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but it would be nowhere near the size of Canelo versus Bud. But and then also this enhances Bud's legacy. If Bud beats Canelo, and he doesn't have. I don't think he would beat him the same way he beat Errol. I think he would beat him, but I feel like he would beat Canelo by decision. He would outbox him like Floyd did. But just by him going up to 168 and beating Canelo, he's putting himself in a rarefied air. And we haven't had a fighter like this in 20, 30, 40 years. I mean, I know Floyd puts himself in that, but I've never put Floyd in the top 3. But Bud, if he goes up and he dominates Canelo and beats Canelo, I'll have to put Bud in the top 3 all time.
Yeah, definitely, because this is my only knock on Bud too, man. He waited so long, bro. He played so many games throughout his career. Bud should be about 31, 32 right now.
Yeah.
Doing exactly what he's doing now. Now he's 36 and he's trying to play catch up and pick up a fight here.
That's more of a reason why you gotta shoot him. That's more of a reason why you gotta shoot him some bail for not fighting Boots. I mean, he doesn't have nothing to gain by fighting Boots, and he's too old to be throwing. You know what I'm saying? Giving throwaway fights. So, I mean, I feel like Bud should. If I was Bud Crawford, I would fight one more time, and it would be the winner of Jamel and Canelo, and then I would call it quits. Because if he beats the winner of Jamel and Canelo, that's gonna be the biggest fight in boxing. That's gonna do like 2 to 3 million pay-per-view buys. He's gonna get a huge payday, and it's gonna cap off a hell of a. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna cap off his career, and if he wins, it's gonna put him in the top 3 all time.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, that's a walk-off. That's a walk-off shot right there. That's like what Jordan should have did when he hit that shot on Brian Russell. He should have just walked off. He shouldn't never played basketball. You should have never stepped on a basketball court again after that. But he messed it up by coming back with the wizard. But if Bud does that, that's his Michael Jordan on Brian Russell shot right there.
That's a fact. He definitely can set himself up for life. You know what I mean?
Like he's gonna have no argument. People, I'm gonna have to really evaluate because right now I got Muhammad Ali as the GOAT. If Bud is able to beat the winner of Canelo and Jamel, if he go and say Canelo wins and he goes up to 168 and he dominates Canelo, I'm gonna have to really rethink it. Like, man, I don't know, man. Bud might have just replaced Muhammad Ali, and that's like legendary stuff. Like that's some legendary craziness. Like you talking about somebody that
I mean, other people might not have Ali as a GOAT, but to me, I felt like Ali was untouchable. So
No,
you like getting to where you're touching the greatest.
it's a fact. It's a fact. He would definitely put himself in that lane. I would argue as well. Um, Gonna be tough. Yeah, it'd be definitely tough. 'Cause I got Ali as the GOAT as well. Um, really, Roy Jones. Now he had his career ended. Really, I had Roy Jones as my GOAT, man. Like, you know, then kind of like Ali is the GOAT. Roy Jones is my GOAT. Kind of.
Roy
I ain't
Jones,
never.
he ain't had a resume. He ain't had a names on that resume though. Roy Jones
Yeah,
ain't. I mean, he beat a young Bernard Hopkins and James Toney, but that was out of people that we actually know. That's the only two people that he really beat. And then,
yeah,
of course, when Roy Jones when he ran into Antonio Tarver, he ran into a problem.
yeah. No facts. That's why I say every time I think about Roy Jones, it's just like, damn, man.
I can't think about Roy Jones without thinking about Tarver.
Yeah, facts. Then he put him down.
Not even that. Like with the fight that he won, he beat Tarver the first fight. But even in that fight, it just looked like Tarver won. Tarver had him on the ropes and just was battering him the whole fight. And Roy Jones won. Roy Jones won the fight, and he fought him again to get his get back. But the mistake that Roy Jones made was Roy Jones went to heavyweight. He went to heavyweight and beat John Ruiz and won a heavyweight title. And instead of telling Tarver, and Tarver was the one that was pushing for the rematch. I mean, even though it was a controversial win by Roy Jones, I would have just walked away with that win. But I would have offered Tarver the rematch, but I'm not going back down to light heavyweight. I would have told Tarver, you got to come to heavyweight because I'm not about to just lose all this weight that I just gained because that's hell on your body. You gained all this muscle mass and all this weight and all this stuff, and then he had to lose 25 pounds, and they say it's only one weight class, but the weight class it's a 25-pound difference. So you're going from 175 to 200. So now you're over 200 pounds, and Roy Jones was over. He was probably like 205, 210 when he beat John Ruiz. So now you losing 35 pounds to go back down and fight this man. Like, and when you in boxing, there's two parts of your training camp when you fight at a lower class, unless you're a heavyweight. There's two parts of your training camp. You're fighting, you're training for your opponent and working in the gym on strategies and stuff like that, but you also training to lose weight. Like it's like a fat camp. Like the whole point of the thing is to lose weight, and you're trying to. These guys be running with garbage bags on and sitting in saunas. Like all that stuff is not healthy, and you got to do all that to lose 25 pounds. For a guy that wants a rematch, you should have made him come up to meet you. You won the fight. I mean, whether you won it controversially or not, you still won the fight. So you didn't have to go down to meet him. You set the stipulations. If you want a rematch, come to heavyweight. And Roy Jones, he didn't do that. So I felt like that was a mistake. And we saw what happened. He got knocked out in the second round.
I gotta rewatch that fight. I can't recall. I know I seen the first fight for sure, but I know I wasn't. I don't know if I seen the second one off the top of my memory. But I think I did just see a documentary about like that was the fight that ruined Roy Jones' career. I think.
Yeah, it did. And then what made it even worse, he got knocked out in that fight, and then his very next fight, he got knocked out again by another dude named Glenn Johnson.
It be big gumming, bro. He be talking big gum days.
Like, and these ain't just normal knockouts. Like so it's one thing. Like Errol Spence, they call it a TKO, like a technical knockout. Like it's one thing to get knocked out like that, like, but to get knocked out sleep, like you're asleep. You're asleep on the ground. Like how when Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez. Like you're
Yeah,
literally just laying on the ground, sleep like you dead. Like
yeah.
that's another type of and that type of knockout takes. I'm not a scientist or a doctor or anything like that, but I feel like that type of knockout takes years off of your life.
Oh yeah, got to. Definitely off the brain. That's why these cats be a little slow, man. I be noticing all these boxes, man. They got a little slur or something.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? That's increasing your likelihood to catch Alzheimer's.
Hmm. Yeah, bro. I can never be a professional boxer, bro. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy covering it and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's not really sport. Hey, before
Nah.
we get out of here, though, bro, I wanted to ask you about this last topic because we got about 15 more minutes before we wrap. Uh, it's been some speculation. I don't know if anything's been decided or inked out yet, but Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder are expected to tango in January, I believe. What you think about that?
Is it? I won't. I'm not really gonna believe it until it's set in stone. These guys were supposed to fight. This is the fight that boxing fans has been waiting for since like 2018, bro. Like
Yeah,
since
yeah,
before Tyson Fury, when we thought that Tyson Fury's retired and gone, before there was any talks of Tyson Fury, it was Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and they never made the fight happen. They always had excuses for why they couldn't make it happen. The money, um, the stipulations, all this craziness. So I mean, I'll just believe it when it happens. Also, Deontay Wilder would like how we was talking earlier when you was talking about Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz beating Joshua and everything like that. Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder have been in talks for a fight for a year, and they couldn't make it happen. I just hope that they can actually make it happen. If they actually can make it happen, then I'll really take more of a look at it. I really can't give a prediction on it right now,
yeah.
but if you force my hand to give a prediction, I would kind of lean toward AJ because I feel like he got more skills.
Yeah, yeah, and I was just thinking that myself. Like I was talking crazy earlier when he after his fight against that Hellenius dude.
Yeah, Robert Helenius.
Uh, I was talking crazy like, man, this dude gonna get cleaned out by Deontay Wilder. But then I watched. Forgot who it was. Did Deontay Wilder was boxing some dude with some dreads, and he cleaned him up, knocked him out a couple times, but it was just so wild. It was just like so unprofessional watching him
Yeah,
box.
it's like he's not very skilled. Like Deontay Wilder throws a lot of punches, and it seems like he be hoping and praying.
Yeah, and if you don't hit that right hand bomb, then it's pretty much done dotted. Like he be
Yeah.
looking like the same that same look Spence had when he couldn't hit the jab. It's like, bro, y'all gotta.
Like, what do I do now?
Yeah, yeah. You got nothing else, no plan B's. But yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with I hate to even say that because I don't like Anthony Joshua, man. I think dude's funny, man. I think he's a funny style cat. I think he duck a lot of dudes. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's that British. Wait, where Deontay Wilder from? Ain't they both from England?
Nah. Deontay Wilder from Omaha or something like that. Like well, I don't know. I don't know where I know Deontay Wilder from somewhere in the South. I think like
Okay.
he's from like Alabama or like somewhere crazy like that. But no, Anthony Joshua is from the UK, I think.
Okay, yeah. I just get that Kell Brook, that same Kell Brook energy from AJ. And I used to like Kell Brook as a boxer, but you could tell it was biased when he was at the crib over Waters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He just got like this very pristine thing about him. Like, man, but other than that, like I got no problem. I like now that you say that, Joshua is a lot more. I say moderately more skilled than Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, he's more skilled. That's the only reason why I'm going with him. But if Wilder is able to touch that chin, then Anthony Joshua is gonna go to sleep. But if Anthony Joshua, what's the name? Derrick James is gonna have to work with Anthony Joshua on his defense. He gonna have to work with him on his defense like he didn't work on Errol Spence's defense. But he gonna have to work. He gonna need defense for this.
Well, we really finna see what Derrick James coaching there with this Jamel fight for sure. If Jamel get cleaned up, then it's gonna be like, man.
Maybe Derrick wasn't as good as I thought he was. And that's another thing I was talking about. I was arguing with somebody in the comment section, but they said Bomac should be the trainer of the year. I don't feel like the trainer of the year should only have success with one fighter. If you're the trainer of the year, you should have at least two fighters or more that you were successful with.
Yeah, facts. And that's the problem with all these.
I believe that Bud would have been successful with any trainer, to be honest.
Yeah, true. Not true. Anybody that's, you leave. If Bud was with Derrick James, we would have got the same results.
Same. If he was with Freddie Roach, we would have got the same. If he was with Robert Garcia, we would have had the same result. It would have been the same thing.
The problem lies with that is, well, I ain't gonna say the problem, but it does show the genius of Derrick James and how elite he is, because he did, raise up the Charlo twins and Errol Spence damn near all at the same time when they was on their come up. So, that is a feat.
I don't know, man, but just that job he did with that Spence and Crawford fight, man, that was a terrible job. Like, it didn't seem like he was giving him he wasn't like giving him no good instructions. And then another thing that I didn't like was that he let the fight go. He should have stopped that fight in like the 5th or 6th round. And you just let that man just take all that punishment for no reason.
Yeah. Well, he said he actually said he was talking to Errol about that, and he was like, Errol was still, to Errol Spence's defense, like, Errol Spence is a man, you know what I mean? And he wanted to go out on his sword. So, and we all know Errol Spence to be that kind of dude anyway. So it was Errol, and you said it in your video. If they didn't stop the fight, Errol Spence was just gonna keep getting up, keep coming, because that's just the kind of Terminator he is. You feel me? But if we know that, then Derrick James know that, and Derrick James essentially created that Terminator. So he know that Errol Spence, what state he was supposed to be in. And I think everybody is a doctor. All these Terrence Bud Crawford fans, ever since that one doctor went viral, all the Terrence Bud Crawford fans over here quoting this dude, and this doctor ain't evaluating. He ain't evaluated Errol Spence and nothing like that. So, you know what I mean? It's just the Bud Crawford fans are on what do they call it? That fake news. They putting a lot of stuff in the news pipe right now, bro. So at the end of the day, Errol Spence got 10 more days, to activate that.
I don't think he's gonna want it. I mean, I don't really feel like they could change too much. I mean, he is the type of fighter that he is. I mean, unless he really feels like he would have that much power, that much more power at 154, if he feels like that would change. But I mean, that's another one of the things that I felt like was a huge deciding factor in the fight, that when he was hitting Bud did not respect it. Like, he did. Like all the rest of the fighters that when you watch the Danny Garcia fight, the Mikey Garcia fight, the Ugas fight, the Sean Porter, like, everybody else respected Errol Spence's power. But when he was hitting Bud, whether it's in the body or in the head, like, Errol used to get respect for that power, but he's hitting Bud with body shots, and he hit him a couple times clean in the face with a couple hooks, overhand rights. And Bud just didn't budge. Bud didn't budge. Like, it didn't seem like it moved him. It didn't seem like he cared.
Nah, that's what I say. I mean, it's multiple things that always go into a victory and a loss when it comes to boxing. You know what I mean? And I hate to even sound like it, because it's gonna sound like excuses. You know what I mean? Especially if Errol would have won, I wouldn't want to hear nothing about no Terrence Crawford excuses. Like, oh, Terrence Crawford stayed at 147 too. I'm like, nah, get out of here. We stayed at 147 too, Chump. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If I had to reevaluate the situation, only reason I'm even repeating this, because Floyd Mayweather said it too, and it just kind of confirmed my thoughts on it, is that Errol Spence should have just bit the bullet. Hoped he got another legendary fight down the line, with a Canelo or somebody like that, and then just went on up to 154 and just kept it pimping. But you know what I
Right.
mean, like that's what you got to respect. And this is another thing I've been noticing, man. This is why we don't get a lot of times we don't get big fights, is because how people have been treating Ryan Garcia. Uh, uh, Loma gets a pass. Devin Haney beat Loma and got more criticism than Loma did.
Right.
Uh, but when a big fighter take a loss, man, the fans start acting a fool and be like, "Oh man, you need to retire," all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's no class. There's no class amongst the fans. So these fighters that really just be in it for the money don't feel prioritized to give us big fights. You know what I mean? I think it's definitely a hats off to Errol Spence that he even kept his word to the fans, even to
Right.
my disapproval. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, E, don't do it, bro. Because once the dude took that David Avenesian fight, I was off that fight. I was like, man, forget it, bro. We'll catch Canelo down the line. You know
You
what
know
I'm
what's
saying?
hella, you know what's hella weird about that? Like how Stephen A. Smith and all them start saying that he should retire now and this, that, and the third. He didn't get beat no worse. He didn't get beat no worse than Mike Tyson got beat in his first Evander Holyfield fight. And I ain't
Yeah.
hear nobody talking about. I don't remember nobody talking about Mike Tyson need to retire. They was asking for a rematch.
You know why, bro? Because Bob Arum and ESPN, top rank, they in the same bed. ESPN is a top rank network, so whoever the top rank guys is, they gonna get better press. It's kind of like the whole LeBron effect. You know what I'm saying? Like Errol Spence, because he with PBC, and PBC is more like, they more mafia with their operations. They don't really mess around other than with Showtime. They don't mess with too many networks. It's like, they just the disc. ESPN chose their side, or Top Rank and Bob Arum chose their side, and Heyman and those guys, Al Heyman, they chose their side. You know what I'm saying? So, in ESPN talking about stuff, man, you gotta always remember that they coming from the bias lens. They're not gonna give Carmelo Anthony the same press that they're gonna give LeBron James. They just call it what it is. But I mean, I just think that it worked out for Terrence Crawford this time around because, like I say, I feel like overall Terrence Crawford has waited too long, because now you got to get one or two more mega fights to kind of set itself up for life. And you hate to be kind of rushing a fight like of that magnitude, because you try to rush a fight with Canelo, he gonna clean you up. You know what I mean? And if Jamel beat Canelo, I think that's gonna put him on a different level. You know what I mean? He already done legendary stuff, so I'd be probably more apt to take Jamel just because he's bigger, and what I'm saying, it might work out better for him in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. That's gonna be a huge fight. We definitely gonna have that. We definitely gonna have a breakdown for that. For y'all, man.
That's a
But
fact. But yeah, bro, I'm gonna wrap this show because I want to keep it at about 2 hours, and we did it. We definitely did this thing, man. This episode 1. I appreciate you, Marlow.
hey, man, I appreciate Tony the Savant, man. Tony the Savant, man. My man doing his thing, man. Blowing up, man. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate you, bro. I do. You want to do your last plugs? Tell the people, remind the people where they can find you. What you got?
Man, the only plug I wanna throw out there, man, is Run It Up Sports, man. Me and Jeremy the Gent, man, we do this every week, man. We bring you the sports. We gonna have the football for you, my man. Gonna have the parlays for you of who you need to bet on, and everything like that for the football season. The predictions are coming. You know what I'm saying, for the Super Bowl and the football season. I know Marlow knows basketball and boxing, but my man do the football. So you know what I'm saying. We coming to y'all with the football, and I got the NFL ticket, man. We all gonna be paying attention, man. I'm from Cleveland, so it's always go Browns.
Yeah, facts. We're gonna definitely doing those recaps. I gotta get my NFL ticket pass, man. I can get up to date, be keeping up. But definitely, that's my boy Marlow, knows basketball and boxing, and also shout out to Jeremy the J. Shout out to Jay, man. We gotta get him back to work, get him on this mic, and get his input. But that's just the show for y'all, man. It's your boy Tony the Savant. Y'all please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content. Y'all the bosses. I'm just the dude that love to work, man. I appreciate y'all.